Interesting story. Midway tickets. Three Compton store owners rented adjoining shops in a mall. Observers waited for a hand to ensue. The retailer on the right put up a huge sign saying gigantic sale and super bargains. The store on the left raised a big sign proclaiming prices slashed and fantastic discounts. The owner in the middle then prepared a large sign that simply stated, "Entrance. Very pleased to meet you." During World War II, a lot of young women in Britain were in the army. Amy was one of them. She worked in a big camp and of course met a lot of men, officers and soldiers. One evening she met Captain Mike at a dance. He said to her, "I'm going aboard tomorrow, but I'd be very happy if we could write to each other." Amy agreed and they wrote for several months. Then his letters stopped, but she received one from another officer, telling her that he had been wounded and was in a certain army hospital in England. Amy went there and said to the matron, "I have come to visit Captain Mike. Only relatives are allowed to visit patients here." The matron said, "Oh, that's all right," answered Amy. "I'm his sister." "I'm very pleased to meet you," the matron said. "I'm his mother." Present for girlfriend. At a jewelry store, a young man bought an expensive locket as a present for his girlfriend. "Shall I engrave her name on it?" the jury asked. The customer thought for a moment and then said, "No, engrave it to my one and only love. That way, if we ever broke up, I can use it again." Be careful what you wish for. A couple had been married for 25 years and were celebrating their 16th birthdays, which fell on the same day. During the celebration, a fairy appeared and said that because they had been such a loving couple for all 25 years, she would give them one wish each. The wife wanted to travel around the world. The fairy waved her hand and boom, she had the tickets in her hand. Next, it was the husband's turn. He paused for a moment. The man said shyly, "Well, I'd like to have a woman 30 years younger than me." The fairy picked up her wand, and boom, he was 90. Napoleon was ill. Jack had gone to the university to study history, but at the end of his first year, his history professor failed him in his examinations, and he was told that he would have to leave the university. However, his father decided that he would go to see the professor to argue him to let Jack continue his studies the following year. "He's a good boy," said Jack's father, "and if you let him pass this time, I'm sure he will improve a lot next year and pass the examinations at the end of it really well." No, that's quite impossible," replied Professor immediately. "Do you know, last month I asked him when Napoleon had died. He didn't know." "Please, sir, give him another chance," said Jack's father. "You see, I'm afraid we don't take any newspaper in our house, so none of us even know that Napoleon was ill." Gardening glowers. For months I hinted that I needed a new wedding ring, since I had developed an allergy to gold. On my birthday, while I was gardening, my husband asked me for gift suggestions. I held my hands up and said, "Well, you will notice that my hands are bare." Later that evening, I opened my present with enthusiasm. "Happy birthday," he said, as I unwrapped a new pair of gardening glowers.